What's up, everyone? How are we doing today? Today's a new day. It's Monday, May 1st, a new month. May the 4th be with you. This summer at Kohl's, may the 4th be with you. So today I am gonna be breaking down the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The White House Correspondents' Dinner. What isn't there to say about the White House Correspondents' Dinner? The bravest event in American culture. The groundbreaking freedom of the press. No. The White House Correspondents' Dinner, historically, has just been kind of iconic because it's not often you get the freedom of the press up against the institution of the government. Except that's exactly why the White House Correspondents exists. It's literally so that people can hear what's going on in the government. Because the White House has the press briefing room, the press secretary, all of that. But that all takes place under, I guess, the umbrella of the White House Correspondents. So the White House Correspondents is like a organization, a club. Apparently it was just started though like 100 years ago, 1921, something like that, so that the press wouldn't get censored. So now it has devolved into what we know as the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where there's like usually one featured comedian. They do a bunch of like gags and jokes. And the first gag and joke I wanted to react to was before we get into like the entire from Roy Wood Jr. I just want to point out as we go into this political atmosphere that I'm wearing my Positions hoodie. So the only corresponding to the White House I'll be doing is through the Positions music video. Okay, so the first like bit I guess that they had queued up for this event is like the Property Brothers, which I'm just like, I'm already wondering, like, is one of the Property Brothers a Democrat? Is one a Republican? Like, or are they both just like hardcore conservatives, or are they both hardcore liberals? I don't know. But they did a bit for C-SPAN for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And basically, let's just check it out. Let's see what they did. I remember like back in the Trump administration, like he had trouble getting like even the most reachable celebrities. And so I'm curious, out of all the Americans that could participate, let's see what the White House is doing with the Property Brothers. I wonder if the Property Brothers are like being held somewhere in the White House. All right, let's check it out. And you know we're watching this video on Twitter because Twitter is nothing if not a cinema.
People often ask which TV show about the White House is the most accurate. And I'm here to tell you it's a lot more like Veep than West Wing. However, if you were to
Do love Veep. Veep is one of my top favorite shows of all time.
wander into the area where the press corps works, it's more like The Office meets Hoarders. The press workspace is cramped and the furniture is literally falling apart.
I feel like being a journalist at the White House is like being on a field trip at a colonial museum and there's like no air conditioning.
Mysteriously, but I'm happy to report that thanks to the hard work of the WHCA board and contributions from news organizations in this room, we are about to get a refresh. Yes, you are cheering.
They're like, yep, the trillions of dollars in debt we're finally gonna get a sink that isn't in the bathroom.
For furniture. The work to remodel the press workspace will be done in the next.
Also, can we talk about this dress choice? Cause it's giving like old cartoon newspaper.
But before we start demolition, I thought we'd bring in a couple of home renovation experts for a consultation.
Okay, so the premise is they're finally getting a revamped kitchen at the White House press area.
This is Joe and Jill. After years of long commutes to work, they finally decided.
This is Joe and Jill, leaders of the most powerful country on earth.
After years of long commutes to work, they finally decided to take the leap and move into their dream home. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a
That is no one's dream home, let me tell you.
put it nicely, but we've
Like, describe your dream home. Snipers on the roof, missile defense, in a public square, windows everywhere.
Got some big ideas to give the White House press area a big refresh.
This is so exciting, a press room refresh.
This is fantastic. I cannot wait to hear these ideas. We are really great fans of your work.
This place is
I love whenever there's a Zoom meeting in like a TV show or movie because I just can't help but feel like all the actors are just recording themselves on photo booth, like talking to themselves. And who is this? Infrastructure czar. They've got these government officials like, look, we've got Commander Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Nancy Pelosi. Dream rotation right here. This dude's like building American infrastructure.
We are really great fans of your work.
Okay, are we sure these guys aren't US government clones?
we get it. It's a shithole.
So what are you thinking? Because it can't be too out there. Originally, we wanted to hire Martha Stewart, but she wanted to build a lake and put 24 swans in it.
We are pitching replacing all the furniture in the White.
They wanted to hire Martha Stewart. Isn't she a criminal?
It's new flooring, new lighting, everything to give it a new modern positive vibe. Tasteful, simple, and...
Okay, wait, that would actually slap though. Like, look at that design.
New lighting,
It's kind of giving like the Capitol, but if the Capitol was like a VIP lounge at Disneyland. Mitch is just so in love with these twins that he's like, I will approve the budget of anything you guys want to do.
Along the wall.
Tasteful nudes!
I don't think this...
Along the wall. Commissioned Doug Mills from the New York Times to shoot some tasteful nudes of past presidents that we can display along the walls throughout the space.
I don't think this is gonna fly.
I mean, picture your audience naked, right? That's the advice they always give, so that might actually help.
Okay, let's move on to the next idea because you are gonna love it. We take the entire West Wing down.
I love these Reno animations, how everything just flips into twirls. Like all of a sudden you've got this podium doing a front flip.
Wait,
a millennial modern White House?
Transform the Oval Office into a Dave & Buster's.
Isn't the Oval Office already a Dave & Buster's? I feel like the government just created a deep fake of Martha Stewart. Hold on.
Hey, Martha.
I knew you'd come crawling back. They always do.
Hey, it's a property brother at the meeting. Okay, I'm actually here for this renovation. I fully want this to happen.
If anyone here is looking to replace their bathtub with a pinball machine, go find them over there.
Government humor. It tastes like chalk. So another thing I wanted to go over from the White House Correspondents' Dinner is that Julia Fox was there. Julia Fox, you might know her as Uncut Gems.
I was Josh Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Gems.
Right.
But she's also a prolific TikTok star now. I love her videos because she is this sort of larger than life meme, but at the same time, like, she is the most intellectual, grounded person you'll ever come across on the internet.
The word villain used to mean farmer, but because the landed aristocracy equated commoners with...
Oh, this is my shit. Did you guys know
As she's
that
literally
the word
on the
ciao,
toilet,
which means hi in Italian, is actually derived from the word schiavo, which means slave. And yeah, just from back in the day when I guess everyone was a slave and they would just be like, what up, slave? Ciao. And then, yeah, now we just say it all the time and nobody even knows that.
The word villain
back when
used to
everyone
mean
was
farmer,
a slave.
But because the landed aristocracy...
Julia Fox, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so she was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And I'm glad she was because look at this fit that she brought. The makeup, the Black Swan, the Charlie XCX, the Vampire Diaries, the clown of it all. And posing with none other than Chuck Schumer, who also recently was on TikTok. I saw him. So they're basically the new TikTok couple, Chuck Schumer and Julia Fox. I think what's kind of interesting about the White House Correspondents' Dinner is that it's the Met Gala for the government. It's the Met Gala for journalists, kind of, in a way. But instead of going into the Metropolitan Museum of Art and sipping champagne with Kylie Jenner, they're like going into the White House or somewhere nearby and getting roasted. And you gotta just love Julia Fox for showing up and serving absolute Black Swan at the Met Gala. I mean, at the political Met Gala, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. This is the TikTok with Chuck Schumer that I was talking about. Where did he find Chuck Schumer? Like, this looks like an abandoned mall.
Yeah, he's a friend, and they treat you so.
Which it might as well just be the mall in Washington,
Chuck
D.C.
Schumer, you're a politician. I do political impressions. Hoping you could review some of my political impressions right now. Rapid fire. Ready? I'm down with it. Okay, I'll tell you what. Chuck is a great guy. He's a friend, and they treat you so unfairly. And
That's like a trigger response for Chuck Schumer. He's like dissociating. He's like,
Listen, Chuck, listen. Well, I appreciate that, Chuck. Listen.
Chuck Schumer can't handle all these emotions at once.
On behalf of Sasha, Malia, Michelle, and Bo.
Chuck Schumer's just daydreaming about taking Julia Fox to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Yeah, Julia Fox was giving for sure. I mean, if anyone's gonna dress to like comment on the state of America, like let's please let it be this, because we do need a new national figure, and I think Julia Fox is the answer. If this was the Trump administration White House Correspondents' Dinner, there'd be like Dog the Bounty Hunter showing up. It'd be Mel Gibson. Okay, so this article is looking really ominous and like it's gonna crash my computer. So let's go over here. Roy Wood Jr., he's a correspondent for The Daily Show. He's a comedian, and he's kind of doing the main spot this year. And last year, Trevor Noah killed it. So let's see what's going on with Roy Wood.
Give it up for Dark Brandon.
Okay, wait. First, I want to see Brandon's speech. Hold on.
Jill.
I feel somewhat responsible for what's about to go down because I did vote for him. I'm excited though. We don't get to see Joe cracking jokes as often as you'd like.
Is a pillar, maybe the pillar of free society.
I feel like I haven't seen him smile since that video with Barack where he was wearing aviators.
Not the enemy, as I've told you in person.
Wait. Does he know where he's at?
Quote, I am not losing hope. In an interview,
everyone's like, do we clap? Do we eat our calamari?
Said, that's where we stand right now.
Okay, inspiring presidential stuff.
I told you last year.
All right, sorry for all the skips. I'm just trying to find where. I'm just trying to find where the jokes come in.
Things can get better. Things can turn. Things can change.
Okay, there's the joke.
Tonight, unlike last year, Brittany Griner's here with her wife, Cheryl.
Yeah, let's go, Brittany Griner. Yes, icon. Everyone's like, we would have brought a vape to Russia too. We would have brought a vape too. No doubt.
Love you, Brittany. This time last year, we were praying for you, Brittany, hoping you knew how hard all of us were fighting for your release.
Is she like trying so hard not to laugh?
I can hardly wait to see you back on the court, kid.
She's like, whoa, that's okay, thanks.
Right? We're doing everything we can to prevent these cases from occurring in the first place. For example, the State Department added the threat of detention.
For example, we're making weed illegal so that you can't bring it to Russia.
It's a new risk, but still, it is absolutely consequential and essential. After all, I believe in the First Amendment.
He's like, making TikToks is essential, y'all. Please keep that going.
Not just because my good friend Jimmy Madison wrote it.
T. His bestie Jimmy. What is their actual age gap? Okay, he was born 1751, 1942. They're only 191 years apart, y'all. I think Biden just doxed his age.
Look, in a lot of ways, this dinner sums up my first 2 years in office. I'll talk for 10 minutes, take 0 questions, and cheerfully walk away.
He did do that.
Yeah, I know. I just announced my re-election campaign.
We're going to take a small break from the Correspondents' Dinner to watch Joe Biden's 2024 campaign video. The horror movie piano. He's like, you're all living in a dystopian future.
Freedom.
Freedom. How it's literally a vertical video. Like, here we go. I can't help but notice that the editing is very similar to Succession. They're like, Mr. President, how do you want your re-election video to feel? He's like, y'all Succession? That shit's dope. This is literally like if the Joker created a presidential campaign video. It's like ominously clicking photos into place. I love it. The fear, the amygdala is activated. And then a peaceful stroll through the garden. That's why we love Kamala, because Kamala stays drama free, I feel like. But maybe she just stays everything free, like just free of all burden, just plain Flappy Bird. I do love videos like this because America's still like, you know, America still has the capability to produce another National Treasure movie. Imagine you're on actorsaccess.com and they're casting background to play like worker for Joe Biden's video, for Joe Biden's YouTube prank.
That's why I'm running for re-election. That we're a nation where we give hate no safe harbor. We believe that.
I understand that they want to make like these Americans seem relatable, but why do you have to like show someone in their pajamas in their living room? Like, no one wants to be seen by the whole country in that light, I would assume. As I sit here in my positions hoodie. Joe does know how to like rally the squad though. You know, like Joe, if Joe's gonna do one thing, he's gonna have a pool party and he's gonna film it like Succession. I'm kind of over watching President Biden's speech, so let's move on to Roy Wood's full set. Now, this is like the main like beef of, this is the main course of the Correspondents dinner. Roy Wood Jr., he was on The Daily Show. He's like done a few voices in Family Guy, I think. And yeah, let's see what's up. See what's good. I remember like my favorite was, the past hosts have been, Michelle Wolf was so good in 2018. Hassan Minaj, Cecily Strong, Conan O'Brien. Right. Wanda Sykes did it? What year? 2009? I have to watch that at some point. Okay, so Roy Wood Jr., here we go.
Yeah, real quick, Mr. President, I think you left some of your classified documents up here. You can get to yeah, no, don't give them to him. I'll put him in a safe place. He don't know where to keep them. I'm happy to be here, though.
Joe's like, he's right. I don't know the combination to my safe, so that's probably a good point.
When I go to the polls, I make sure it is a Dominion machine that I use. If your election needs the truth, put Dominion in your booth.
Dominion is the scariest name for a voting machine I think I've ever heard. Like, if I was coming up with a voting machine, I'd call it something like comforting. Maybe like the blanket. Like, come on into the blanket and cast your vote. Not like the Dominion machine.
I ain't gonna get sued. It's three people you don't want to see in the courtroom. That's Dominion, Cardi B, or Gwyneth Paltrow. You gonna lose.
Are we sure they're not all just the same person? I love his suit. It's like, looks like a wood texture, but it's black. It's like velvet. It's like Valyrian steel.
President Biden thinks I'm the dad of y'all Family Matters.
He's like, wait, you aren't? What? I'm kind of obsessed that it's like such an open joke, like that everyone thinks that Biden is
government officials who speak to
not there.
Great achievements in journalism. That's right.
Yeah, like this dinner's supposed to like award scholarships, give press awards, like really honor the sacred bond between the press and the government, and it's just literally like the roast of the Met Gala now.
And I'd like to stop right now and congratulate tonight's top scholarship recipient, Arizona State senior George Santos. George couldn't be here tonight. He's auditioning for RuPaul's Drag Race.
Do we know George Santos's drag name? Okay, apparently George Santos dressed as a drag queen named Kitara. It's giving Avatar The Last Airbender.
Okay.
I feel like Tucker is probably supposed to be there.
Some people celebrate it. But to Tucker's staff, I want you to know that I know what you're feeling. I work at The Daily Show, so I too have been blindsided by the sudden departure of the host of a fake news program. Got caught up like that dude from Vanderpump Rules. Text message.
Why are the Vanderpumps there? Like, out of all the celebrities that show up to these things, like, it's so random. Vanderpump, Julia Fox, like, But maybe they are like deep government insiders.
but for white
I wouldn't be that surprised.
Or is that secession? No, secession is power for white people. No, Tucker Carlson is power for white people. No, that's white power. You know what? Never mind. Don't worry about that one. No.
In Succession, they own ATN News, which is supposed to be Fox News. Succession is pretty much like Succession shows like how America is moving towards oligarchy. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that.
We got to get Tucker back on the air, Mr. President, because right now there's millions of Americans that don't even.
I wonder if President Biden even knows who Tucker Carlson is. Joe's genuinely concerned by that. Like, he's like, "Why? Who hates me?"
But I think it's fair that we should give credit where credit.
Why are there so many voting machines? Like, shouldn't there just be an app or like one machine? Like, I get that diversifying the brand, make sure there isn't like any corruption too, but like also, why is the government pretending like they don't know what computers are?
Speaking of assholes, Don Lemon is out of a job.
That's how you know yin and yang balance is a true principle of this universe, because Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon are both unemployed. I feel like everyone in this room is quiet quitting their journalism job tonight. Don is short for Donald. Like, Don Lemon's name is Donald. Like, have we ever processed that?
Don't fire your.
Don Lemon had the most iconic New Year's Eve shows ever.
And just for a moment, can we just all acknowledge, can we just all be honest and just say that the Trump arrest didn't hit like we thought it was going to hit? We're so desensitized to scandals.
It didn't hit just like how UFOs becoming legitimized didn't hit.
Now,
like, nothing hits anymore.
What I thought it was going to do. The Trump arrest was like a
Also,
pot brownie you ate 4 hours ago. And you're like, do I feel justice? This don't feel like justice.
also, he wasn't really like arrested. He was just sort of brought into a nice building.
Maybe that'll hit.
Everyone there's like, a pot brownie?
Trump scandals. There's too many Trump. Donald Trump got locked up, and for years, all y'all been saying for years, we got to get tough on crime. Trump got arrested. We meant black crime.
No, literally, like all these House Republicans are trying to be the law and order goons that Trump needs and wants and DeSantis is craving. And then, you know, the law happens and they're like, we'd rather attack Disneyland, actually.
Same thing with the liberals. The easiest scandal to follow was the Trump document scandal. That was the one that was easy to follow. It was simple. It's some stuff that's supposed to be in the White House that ain't.
Yeah, that one was easy to follow, and it makes sense. Like, you could totally see him just taking whatever he wanted. Like, he's just walking through the Oval Office. He's like, I want that little statue. I want that painting. But he probably takes, like, the most unhinged thing.
Y'all did y'all's job. Y'all jumped on that story. As soon as the Trump document story broke, everybody was down to Mar.
But also, he took, like, boring, like, work stuff. Like, he really wanted to be working.
Mar-a-Lago, we're reporting live from the documents. If there's one person that could use a scandal, it's Ron DeSantis. That boy is just running around just passing every controversial law he can think of, thinking that's going to activate voters. That's not how you activate voters in this country, Ron. Everybody know how you do politics. This is America. We don't pass laws. You make a promise to voters, and then you don't do it. That's what the great leaders in this room understand.
Hey, he's right. You know, when I ran for student faculty board in high school, I promised I'm going to get everyone dress down days. I'm going to get us snacks in class, like pizza. I got voted in, but none of those things happened.
You know how to make things not happen. Just got to stop it. We got to stop it. We got the files. We got files. We'll be right back. I'm Rachel Maddow. I have files.
I feel like everyone has files on them to some extent. Like, how can you really say what's a classified file? Everything's in the cloud. Like, stuff like that is more secure if it's printed out than if it's online anyways. So, like, what are we really... What's the truth of the matter here?
Y'all would be surprised, man, if y'all would just be real about what CRT is. You can be surprised. Some black folks might meet you halfway. But you got to tell the truth. You can't lie to black people. Call it what it is. Anti-CRT policies.
I think what's crazy about all the hypocritical like politics these days, like our country feels like it's in a gridlock of like money where like lobbyists are getting paid to like help government officials get paid to stop real change. So the only change that people can make is like really destructive and like nonsensical issues, like focusing on people's ability to learn about race or focusing on people's ability, like, there's so little left that we can actually change because it's been so like blended up with money that the press has to report on the most sensational things, and those things are usually just like a way to get attention for a re-election. So you have to wonder, like, are comedians the new politicians?
That's what it is. You are trying to erase.
I love how they cut to a table of people and this lady's just on her phone. Like, no shade to her. Like, you can be on your phone, but like, why would they cut to that? Hey, Lester Holt's there. I love Lester Holt.
Flying Clarence Thomas all over the world on unreported trips, like an Instagram model, taking Clarence.
Clarence is texting him like, hey, I'd love to take a little like weekend getaway with you, boo. Like, you know, take me to the Maldives. We can pass like a law that bans everything you hate. Don't worry about it, babe.
Paid for his mama's house, this billionaire. Paid for Clarence Thomas' mama's house. Do you understand how rich you have to be to buy a Supreme?
So Clarence Thomas is really in a throuple. Like, he's got his partner and he's got this billionaire. Joe Biden is at a point where he's so asleep that like he probably, when he goes to sleep at night and he dreams, like he's convinced like his dream life is his real life, and then like this is like a just really long continuous dream. I feel like Biden is like everyone's like mystical elf grandpa elder, and he's like, if you disturb me, I'll grant your wish, but leave me alone. Wait, Kamala's been there the whole time?
What does Kamala do?
True. We need the Kamala show. Like, I know Veep is a thing, but we need like the undercover Kamala spy. Like, I want the Kamala like spy mission stories, please.
You know what Mike Pence did? The only thing I know about Mike Pence is that he's really good at playing hide and seek at the Capitol. Anything you do, the immigration stuff, you done knocked out, you done got all this banking, and you got the internet down there, you done taken care of all this postpartum stuff. They just gonna give a man credit for what you done. By the way, Mr. President, great job at being the first woman vice president of color. I don't even know how you did that part.
I feel like Joe took that compliment seriously. He's like, I'm proud of myself for that one. TikTok should be in the room tonight. I wish America had like a mascot that would just stand in all these rooms in a big mascot costume. That would be iconic.
The issue with good media is that all the essential, fair, and nuanced reporting is all stuck behind a paywall.
And not just a paywall, like the most annoying paywall too, because you click on the article, you could read the first paragraph, and then all of a sudden it's boom.
Say what you want about a conspiracy theory, but at least it's affordable. And I understand that we have to put the stuff by.
Yeah, that's T. Like, America's main source of news is either like Fox, CNN, or Shane Dawson.
The journalism costs the people, but it also costs the journalists. It could even cost you your freedom.
Dude, journalism is like a scarier job than being president, I feel like, because if you're like going into these places and you have to get the scoop and you're going to do anything to get the scoop, like, people have been kidnapped overseas, and like, I don't know, there's even sometimes like scary stuff going down with journalists in the States too, but nothing's scarier than being a Twitch streamer. We should create a branch of the military that's like the truth seekers, and like they like go and free journalists from around the globe. I think I'm just inventing a comic book, but that would be sick and necessary. Or maybe that's just like what the CIA does. I don't know. Cadet Kelly maybe does that. I think we just need to look to TikTok for the solution to BH or ChatGPT. Oh my God, next year can ChatGPT host?
One of those many black colleges that need a little bit more funny. You got a 20 on your joke. Send that down to one of the black colleges.
Joe's like, what's a black college? Joe's like, $20 bills are still printed?
You know.
That's amazing. Roy Wood Jr. killed it. I'm so glad that he hosted. Like, such a great comedian. Cool dude. And I feel like he's besties with Joe Biden. I want him to go everywhere Joe goes. All right, that's going to do it for today's stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. And make sure you subscribe here on Twitch, subscribe here on YouTube. Links are down below. And Have an amazing day.